Howdy, folks. Grok the DuckFarmer here, and I'm on the FTOG server playing FTB Stoneblock 3. And have you ever looked at your base and gone, ew, it's kind of gross. There's stuff scattered all over. There's random chests and crap. That's disgusting. Well, you know what I feel like almost all the time. So I decided to make a little change. And somebody put a tree right here. Right here, right in the way. But anyway, so I've kept this little plot of ground, but I went ahead and cleared off pretty much everything else, and then just kind of tidied up the place. Pretty much didn't want to have any chests up here, nothing processing. That's too big, so I decided to leave it. I may move it later, but I also went through and set up the cave lights because I do like these glow orbs. They're great. I love the light up there, but I wanted them spread out a little bit more. All right, and then I also got these little, trees growing in places, and broke out in a whole bunch of geodes here. They're all over the place, but that's okay. They work out. All right, stuff that I did. Oh yeah, I like the little path. I got bored. I got really bored with running back and forth doing stuff and saying, I really need a path. And that's Botany area, but that's a different video. Anyway, elevators. Let's go down. And I set up this little area down here. I was just playing with textures and eventually said, okay, yeah, we'll go with this. A little diorite with some lights behind to provide invisible lights. Can't see that. Provide invisible lights so you can't see anything. And decided to set up storage because I was just getting sick and tired of random chests all over the freaking place. And so this wall here is all the compressed stuff that I have, and I got 2 slots free. What are you doing there? You're not supposed to be there. Anyway, I'll fix that up. Anyway, so doing that, and then over here I've got the 2x2 drawers because I can slap on upgrades like this for my wood. All the wooden trees are here. Here's all the dyes, and then just random stuff and junk that I've got, and just shoving it in. Then I've got these diamond chests here for the leftover stuff that doesn't quite fit enough for the wall, and I might do stuff. Chickens. Let's talk about chickens because that was the last video, and it's been a while because I've been breeding up my chickens. So I've got every one of the color chickens. That's very, very important. And I've got here all the 10-10-10 chickens. And yeah, there were several people that were mentioning, yeah, you can have 16 of these. That's true. Some of these I only have 10 and I don't care because they breed so fast, the results, that I don't care. But yeah, you can have up to 16. And then these are the ones that I've got that I haven't bred up. And I don't know if I need to, because I don't need great galloping gobs of these resources. And then these, you can see the EMC tags at the bottom. These are the original ones, and I'm missing one. I don't know which. I'll have to look it up. But probably the blue, because I think the lapis blue chicken is missing. Anyway, doing some of the breeds where it says, okay, you need the cactus green and something else to make uranium. I think diamond. If I used one of these cactus greens that doesn't have the EMC value on it, I just was getting very, very, very little, as in no breeding success with crossbreeding them. But as soon as I put this one with the EMC, it seemed to be much, much faster. So that's coincidence, real thing. I don't know, but that's why I kept these around. So I've got that. It's down to one little roost here. So if I need something, like, for example, let's look at my silver here. I don't have a full amount of silver, assuming I needed silver for a certain reason. Where's my silver? There's my silver chicken. Put them in here, go both in there, and it breeds. And you don't see any, because I've got a netherite to upgrade in here, and it just sucks the entire stack down. And it comes over here. Ow, Charlie, that's my leg. Why are you clawing my leg? Huh? It's get close to his feeding time, and so he's very, very anxious. Yeah, so that went up to 27.8k. There's 0.9, so it just feeds right in. Here, I don't need more silver, but I can do that with these as fast as possible. So if I need a lot more of, glowstone for some reason, I can make it. Some of these, like, I let the obsidian run for a while. And so now I've got obsidian. Yay! So that's what I'm doing. And that works out really well. Now, one of the things I want to do, was it in here? No, this is my tech stuff. This was the random stuff I haven't got to. Yes, here we go. The rewards. Two things I wanted to do with rewards. One, I wanted to come up here to quest rewards and just gather everything. Oh, very interesting. What? Because I triggered something that I didn't thought. So spiky bomb. I've got 2 of these mob imprisonment tools, which is very nice. I already have one. Is there anything in them? Nope. I made one because I wanted to move some stuff. There's an iron paxel. I thought I saw a thing for... Oh, well. I'm going to dump all this stuff in here. Oh, there it is. The petal apothecary. I thought I saw that drift by because I actually was going to make one of those. Let me just dump you there for right now. Because, like I said, that's going to be a different episode. So there's all that just random stuff. Anything super, super interesting? Storage controller. Pretty cool. Got one. Diamond impact hammer. Okay, some fun little things here. Anyway, what I've got here are a whole bunch of loot crates that I'd gotten pretty much from killing the chickens. And so let's give them a go. I'll right-click the clay, and I just got clay. Yay! Okay, I'm going to sneak right-click. Let's dump. And there's the phone that should never ring. Okay, that was Niece the Duck Farmer. And I was impressed. The filtering process that I have on the microphone actually stripped out most of the ringtone, which actually is the trololo sound, which she doesn't like, but it's my phone, so tough. Anyway, let's go ahead and process these. I want to right-click these and see what they do. Let's see, it said shift right-click. All of those. Oh, that a timer is interesting. Everything. Oh, sponge. Cool. Oh, 4 sponges. Nice. Let's do the next one. The uncommon loot crate. Crescent hammer. Oh, I haven't made that one yet. Floor fertilizer. Novice boots. Oh, okay. I'm going to save that because that's going to go into the Botania area. And rare loot crate. Ooh, trash cans. And improved radiant grenade, disruptive grenades. I don't know how much grenading I plan on doing, but okay. And then I've got 1 epic loot crate. An endoflip. Oh, very, very nice. Cool. Okay, so I'm going to keep that and the floral fertilizer and the petal apothecary. We'll just go ahead and keep those there. Oh, and there was a cake too. I understand that is a lie. All right. So I just wanted to share that. Oh, and we actually have a few more questy bits. Let's just do a quick, give me them all. Honey cake. More cakes. So other stuff that I did around here, let's run in here. I wanted the mob imprisonment tool. I wanted to move my mobs down instead of having them upstairs. This is my work/industrial area. It's a work in progress, as you can see. It's not very well decorated. And I decided I wanted to go ahead and produce tiny rubber. Let's go grab a single acacia wood. It's the best wood for making rubber. And so here's what I did. I created this guy. Oh, I'm going to crash. All right. It's something that's been happening for about the last 6 weeks or so. It's a network issue on my end. Anyway, I made this factory block placer by Engineer's Decor, and if I drop in the acacia log, it'll spit it out. The fluid extractor will go ahead and slowly extract latex out of there. And I added a little bit of power just to speed that up. You can see the cycle here goes up to about here and processes on. So it's much faster instead of having to start all the way up here and run. Then that pipes that into a storage. And then that pipes into the latex processing unit, which does need both water and the latex and power. So I guess that's not both, that's all 3. So again, I've got power coming in, and for water, because there is no sink from cooking for blockheads, which I love, I've got this water condenser from Industrial Foregoing, and there's 2 source blocks of water next to it. Maybe if I had 4, it would do more, but it keeps up. This can take electricity, but it doesn't need to. And I just pipe that up into here. So once that gets sufficient latex, it runs with some water, and it processes out a tiny pellet of these guys. Give me all of them. There we go. And I process them over into here. You just compact them down. Back down. Okay, we'll leave those. And then these 37 that are left, I go ahead and dump them in here, let them cook. And that's what I do. I've gotten lots and lots and lots of rubber that way, and plastic. Decided I also wanted to get a lot more bone meal. So the simple way of doing that is, let me jump up here. Thank you. I went ahead and put carrots into this hopper botany pot on top of a composter. And this redstone comparator here is just absolutely necessary. You've got to have it or it won't work. And I'm lying because I just put it here just so I get an idea as to how full this is, just because I was curious. I look and I see power 3 out of 15. Yeah, it's not very full. And then it just sucks it out, and the way it works. And I'm doing kelp over here just because I know I'm going to do some belts in Create. So I need that. All right. I think that's pretty much everything I've done up to this point. Let's see. Yeah, just a little design, little different leaves around here for a little shrubbery. And yeah. Oh, power. Talking about power. I do have this. Let me jump up here. The coal generator from RF Tools Power. And I've got a single coal chicken here that it produces a lot. I've got the setup so with a redstone, it will actually transfer over. Nope, it didn't. Let's do a little bit. There we go. It transferred over enough. And these will slowly burn at 60 a tick. That's pretty good. But you can see I maxed power. And that takes power, and this takes power, but I'm still at max power. Okay, I'm down just a tiny bit. That's because I decided to do some, go up one more, way up here. I'm almost at, there's the top bedrock. I decided to use the geothermal, not the geothermal, the thermoelectric generators from Immersive Engineering. I like them as a passive power source. Initially, this was going to be my area for wind turbines or wind generators from Mechanism. They're not in the pack. And, there's no wind blowing through here, evidently. Anyway, once I realized that, I shook my fist and went, well, darn. Okay, let me make these thermoelectrics. Anyway, these 4 here are all piping in, and that's my typical energy generation, except for the coal. That was my very first, and then realized, yeah, I really don't need this. This is super, super easy. 1 chicken, that keeps it fed, but yeah. All right. Stop clicking that. Wrong button. Okay. One of the things I wanted to do is look at storage, and we've got this storage set up nice, but I want to try something else. Let's go ahead and make the modular storage, and I'm going to break this. Boom, give me all that stuff. Because over here, I'm going to make the tier 1 storage modular. It says it can support 100 stacks, which is pretty cool. Let's grab that, and that completes that. I want to here's the tier 2 stuff, and then we'll hit U on U, the U button to see the uses. There's tier 3, and let's do tier 4. All right, so this should do 500 stacks. Cool. It's been so long since I've used that. And then the last machine frame in here, the storage scanner. Now, I haven't used these in forever and 5 days. Storage scanner does need power. And does the modular storage need power? Let's take a look at you. You need that in place. Okay, it does not need power, which is good. So I think let's steal a I want to leave that in its spot. Let's use the tool, break you, break you. You know, don't really need you. But let's take this guy, and we'll put him right back here. See how I'm using glowberries to do my lights? But think that right there, set you for out. One thing that the most recent dimensional cells bugged me that when you break the block, it loses the power. It didn't used to do that. That's just really annoying. Okay, so you need power. So we'll go doink and put you there. Yep, see there's the power zipping in. And then you, I'm going to break and I'll put you up on top. Okay, so I should be able to drop stuff into you. Here. 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 Lock the storage to access the items. How do I lock the thing? It's been... There we go. Now I can drop stuff in there. Cool. And you can scan stuff. So move over to the top, blah, 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 blah. It's, like I said, it's been so freaking long. Oh, the radius that will do. Let's go max. And that's cobble gems. Okay, all the compacting stuff I definitely want to be able to see. But I think I'm going way up higher. I probably don't need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is probably sufficient. So let's do 9. 12. Do a little bit more or less. 9. Okay. So it's yep, that's better. And now that I've got that, how do I see the stuff that's in here? Or does it just not see it? I would love it if it could just scan the storage the storage controller, but it doesn't seem like it really does that. Move inventory, move inventory, move inventory. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. It's like it can't sort by name, amount. Yeah, this looks very much... Well, I can click each thing individually. That's not so grand. All right. This tells me this is not a super great storage option for what I am doing right now. So I think what I will do, if we look at storage, this is AE2 and this is the RF, not RF tool, the refined storage, yeah. So I think I need to make this. I've got plenty of quartz and iron. I can do that with the chickens, no problem. Silicon, that's just cooking up quartz, and I've got that. Again, that's the same. Advanced processor, that's just diamonds and... Okay, well, this is a fun create thing that I'm going to have to set up. Well, I'm going to have to play with that. Several hours later, and one yummy meal of stuffed peppers, thanks to Mrs. the Duck Farmer, I have figured out something. This shows everything that I need to show, which is really cool. I guess I had to come out and come back in again, and that worked. And I can actually search for stuff, so if I want chests, I can see all my stuff, which is really cool. I just wish I could see them better in here, and maybe that's because I'm in dark mode. I don't know. And then here's the other thing. I was saying the storage scanner wasn't working at all. Well, that was user error. I had to come in here and check all of these things to be routable. Now, some of them I don't want to be routable. For example, the barrel and mechanical crafters and things like that. I don't want them to be working. And then I also have these in order of which stuff should go in. So stuff should go into the storage controller first, which would mean all these compacting drawers. And then at the very last, cobblejet, nothing's going into that. All these diamond chests and whatnot. But this, the modular storage, that one I want to go in anything there before these diamond chests. So that's the way it should work. And it's working. It's working really well. So I have here 314 and now 250 of the bone meal here. And I take this and I just shift click and it goes away, and that obviously is where it goes in, and hey, we're back to 314. So this is actually working really well, which means I'm going to go with this for a bit and see how this works. It doesn't have the auto crafting and a bunch of other cool things that you can get with the refined storage, but that's okay. Which makes me feel a little sad because I spent a bunch of time while waiting for and then eating and afterwards setting up this little crafter setup here. And I went ahead and created 3 of these deployers, and we've got the andesite belt funnels. They just push out and pull in. Super simple. And then the belts, I figured I would be doing them because I had the kelp going, so that's why I had that set up there. And oh yes, this over here, the mechanical press. So I no longer have to use my little engineer's hammer, which has 2 uses left. So I used up all that. But now I could sit there and drop stuff on here, and it does all the plate fastening, not fastening, forming. That's the word I want. I initially had this set up 1 layer higher, and it was too high. You see how I kind of raised up the roof here, and you know, I want to have leaves there, and it was too high. Also, they were I had a space in between them, and that seemed like a waste. So if we come back here, this is the area where I set it up, and I did this little stairway thing so I can get back and forth. These gearboxes I put in place because if I didn't have these gearboxes, you can actually look through, and I didn't like that. I actually want to be able to look through, which meant they push the power through. So instead, I've got this working the plate masher over there. Can't remember what the name is, and then the 3 deployers here, and then this channel goes underneath to run the belts, and it works. It works really nicely. I went ahead and loaded these things with stuff. In fact, you don't see any of the stuff in here. But if you look on the side, I've got iron bars there. That's the silicon, and that's the redstone. And I've already done the diamond and the gold one, so now it's time to do the iron one. And let's spit in the processor binding and a cough.
Feel better?
I feel much better. And so this will go ahead and do the crafting that I need, which is pretty slick. I like that. So while that's doing that, I've made plenty enough of the plastic over here. I think I don't need any more. And let me grab this one guy out of here. So everything is going into this tank, and I probably will be under 16 barrels. So this holds 32. I probably will go ahead and we'll just stick this one back in here. No, not the infuser, that guy. We'll put that back in there, and that should be enough to closely fill my singularity tank. Okay, that'll work. Everything else, I just kind of moved over to the other side to give me some space. So since I don't really want to do the refined storage, I'm going to work on mobs, because if I went over and over and over and over, and I went out here and I found a spot, but I think it's below me. And then I was going, I want a nether area. And so I dug along, and this is above. So I think I need to build some mob crushing stuff and see what I can find in here, do a little exploring. But if I can spawn something like wither skeletons, then the mob farm should allow me to get some skulls, which I'm hoping I can get a lot of. As you can see from the map, I've done nothing here in the nether. Here's why. I spun up a single-player creative world so that I could test something. I flew over to this area and I set up a little farm, put the dreadful dirt in there so that it would spawn real quick. And in these corridors here, no, I didn't get any of the wither skeletons that I wanted. None whatsoever. Got plenty of other things, but not those. So making a farm here is not that useful. I did notice that there's plenty of spawners up in here, and if one of those happens to be a wither skeleton spawner, which would be nice, I could use that. But I'm not going to investigate this here, mainly because I don't have any armor. I just have a little chain there, and that's it. Anyway, I have done a few things here to set up a mob farm locally. And this is take two because the last time I was showing off everything, my Mike didn't pick up a thing. So I'm going, well, darn. Anyway, let's go downstairs to the mob farm. And, do you have to use cyan and red? No, you don't. But I did play with the mob farm, and typically my setup is I like the tinted glass, whether it's with mob grinding utilities or the vanilla one. I don't care. And I typically, down there where the grinder is, I typically have my storage and viewing area. But what I noticed is there were a lot of mobs glitching through, especially the magma cubes and some of the named mobs were glitching through there in the nether area. So I said, okay, I'm going to do this different. I'm going to be up here safe. It's solid walls, so if they do glitch through for some reason, they'll just suffocate in there and I don't care. Anyway, set up this little kill chamber here, and I got it set up in this way because of my 4 rules for running a spawner, especially on a server. So, rule number 1, you should always have a way to turn off your spawn. Notice right now there's nothing spawning. Even though I've got that dreadful dirt down there that spawns stuff really fast, nothing is spawning because I have lights. And I'm using, in this case, the redstone transmitter to do so. So I can sit there and turn it off. And they're just spawning real quick and dying. So always have a way to turn off your mob farm. The reason for that, mobs when they hang around, they are always trying to path. They're always ticking, and mobs are one of the high tick events on a server. So, being able to turn it off so there's not just lots and lots and lots of mobs just sitting here doing nothing except tick is a good thing. Now, speaking of mobs, rule number 2 for me is kill the mobs quickly. And so for that, I'm using the grinder down there. In fact, here, let me turn off my fans. And I'm going to drop down. And ouch. So the reason I'm being killed. Okay. Nicely in this pack, it doesn't do any damage to you. I've been in other packs where you get chewed up. Anyway, I've got the sharpness plus 10 on there, as well as the luck because I want the mobs, and I also have beheading because I'm wanting to get wither skeletons in here and I want their skulls so I can make nether stars. Now there's the bane of anthropods, the smite, and flame. I don't think I'll do flame because I'm not like cooking cows to turn them into steak instead of the raw beef, so I don't think I'm going to do flame. But as soon as I initially didn't do the Bane of Arthropods and the Bane of, or the Smite, because I didn't have the Zombie Flesh or the Spider Eyes. Now I do, because I've been running this. Anyway, want to do that. I have these receivers behind each of these devices so I can turn them on and off remotely. This is sitting on a block of redstone. It's just always on. Now, for the mob, okay, size. I do a 9x9. That's my typical size for doing these. That gives me 81 squares for spawnable spaces, -1 for the grinder here. In which case, 80 blocks is plenty. I don't see the need to do anything more than that. I never have that issue. So I do have 4 fans set up here. I could get away with fewer if I moved this over to a corner, but I'm doing it with 4. They're super cheap. This one and the one behind me, they have the regular fan. Here, we'll turn on the show area. The regular fan, but I put a width on them. So the default width or the default depth pushes them here to the mob grinder. And here, if I hide the area, same with that one, they both push towards the mob grinder with a little overlap. Now these over here, these 2 are slightly different. I've got 2 additional upgrades for the width so that it will do 5 across, and there's a little bit of an overlap there. And this, I added some additional depth. I think 3. Three, yeah, three additional fan distances to blow them into the area of the matcher. So that's the difference I have for those. If I had a lot of flying mobs sort of things, I'd put one up above to point down to force them down to the ground, but I don't. This little setup here is in the hopes that I will be able to get one spawner for the wither skeletons and enough room for a second spawner. Not sure what I'm going to do beyond that. There's that one just stops anything from spawning right up there anyway. So that's what I have set up here and why I have it set up in this way. Do you have to use, concrete and powder? No, I'm just being fun. The dreadful dirt, that can be done by making this GM chicken feed first. And unfortunately, I did it before and it exploded very nicely, but yeah, that was in the previous video. That didn't have any sound. Anyway, you feed that to a chicken, it explodes. That'll give you a rotten egg, and that you can drop down and it'll turn a 5x5 square of dirt or grass into this dreadful dirt. And 4 of them is sufficient to turn all of these. So that's why I killed 4 of them and did it. So let's go home, get out of here, go back down. I think, let me grab that tinted glass and repair what I did. All right, so rule 1, always have a way to turn it off. Rule 2, kill the mobs quickly because you don't want that extra mob pathing and tick that comes from that. Rule 3, handle the drops quickly. And for that, I've got the absorption hopper. Let me show area, and I added an extra radius upgrade. Makes it a 9x9, and I pushed it down so everything in there is covered by the absorption hopper. So that's rule 1. Nothing is just going to stay down there. It handles both fluids in your tank here as well as items. And for speed, these items here that go in here, they get pushed out to the ender chests around the side, and I have 4 so that they output 4 items each cycle. It's not quite a tick. It's not quite a second. Maybe it's twice a second. I don't know. I haven't counted it, but these items get each square filled with items has 4 being outputted each time. In a previous server, I only had 2, and I could back it up. So I'm using 4 this time just because it's faster. And you always want to process them super, super, super fast. Now, talking of processing, we're doing liquids and solids. So let's jump upstairs and talk processing. Now, here I've got the ender chest, and I've got a ultimate pipe upgrade. That's the fastest I can do, and that is really fast in shoving into the storage controller. And I'm shoving it into a storage controller rather than any of these others because these things I can void very nicely. So if we look at these items here, these are the mob spawnable items that I've gotten from them, plus this patch here and that patch there. And each one of them, you notice I have got the void upgrade here. Let me click. I've got a void upgrade on all of these because they come from mobs. I have no control over how many they have, therefore I'm going to void any excess. I do have copper upgrades on all of these, and I have copper upgrades on all of them, and also voids. So that's a key rule. You want to make sure that you handle these promptly. They go in very quickly. Even if they do back up, it's not a problem. Which brings us to rule 4: handle overflow properly. Make sure that everything's protected from overflowing and having problems. So I noticed that my gunpowder was backing up. I didn't have the copper upgrade on it because it was over here. And it didn't have a void on it or an upgrade. And I went, ooh, let's move that over to this spot here. I also got some chickens that dropped in. So I said, let me add them to this. They're mob drops. We'll put them in here. And they all have voids. So at this point, when the Endermen spawn, and they drop me Ender Pearls, and they come into here, and they get voided. I already have enough, mainly from my chickens. But this way, I'm processing it and getting them gone. Speaking of processing them, how do you process things that don't get stored? And for that, I'm using this trash can here, And again, with the ultimate pipe upgrades, I've gone ahead and told it to delete these items. Now, zombies or skeletons will drop bows, and if I click on this, it gave me an NBT data, and I deleted it because I don't care how damaged the bow is. I want it gone. And so that's what I've set up in here. Zombies also create carrots and potatoes. I don't care. I can grow them. I don't need them. They also do iron ingots. I haven't handled that yet. I will set up a rule in here to delete those. And then these are the musical instruments that some of the mobs are carrying. And again, I went in there and deleted the MBT data off of them. So I don't care how broken they are. They just all get voided. I don't care. So that's items. A little lever on here. So the redstone is if it's powered, it turns it off. So I could sit there and say, stop voiding things. Or, keep it back on. I always like having the option to switch things on and off. So those are items. Let's talk XP. So here is the Ender tank, and it's got not the top, just an advance to the diamond one, and there's diamond ones all the way through here. So it's as I haven't seen it back up at all. The stuff goes through here fairly fast. So this Ender tank comes from downstairs. It goes into the XP singularity tank that drains the XP from you. And then that is going to you can barely see behind here. There's a jumbo tank, and that holds 1,000 buckets of XP, which is a lot. And then that is pushing into this XP solidifier. And I've got the mold here to make jelly babies. And I can also turn it on and off, and I'm pushing it to the east into my drawer. And I also put some speed upgrades, so it's much faster on here because I want it to just go, go, go. This means, and then this, click here, I've got a gold upgrade, which was a bonus from one of the loot chests. That's 32, almost 33,000 jelly babies. That's a lot. And then a void. Always have overflow protection. To get some of the things to work, to get those, let me click this, to get this first feed, I need buckets. And since I needed 4 of them, I needed 16 buckets. And to begin with, I made my singularity tank. I jumped up here, and whatever XP I had, it went away. Well, using the create to grind wheels, I got lots of these nuggets of experience. So here, I'm going to stand off, eat all that. That's 11 levels worth. We'll let that drain, and so there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like 4 jelly babies got made. So if we look at the fluid, there's 360 millibuckets in here. I take one of these guys out and eat it. Gives me some levels. Jump back on here. Made it. It was 360, and it's still 360. So there's no loss in it. And because I can store more here with the void than with that jumbo tank, that's why I'm doing the solidifying. Because I want to make sure there's no overflow on my stuff. So there you go. Mob farms are great to have. You got one thing from here, 7. Let's loot these epic ones. Ta-da! Oh, I got something from... There we go. Hopper Hucks. Yay! And Enderium glass. Is that the stuff you can walk through? Nope. Oh well. That is... I may have regret... Yep, I broke him. Okay. Oh well, and that's another basic and... Oh, muffling upgrade. I like that. And pulse center. All right. Let me just dump them into here. Random stuff. I will steal the hopper rocks. I've opened up some of the loot chests just to get the various things. Some of them I tossed and processed. The gold stuff, the gold armor. Oh, hey, there's a gold sword. I will melt that down just because I don't need it. And it's a fun way of using up these. It's a good reason to have a good mob farm. Some people say that might be a little cheaty, that you get all this cool loot. I figure it's an aspect of the game. hey, there's 2 more roosts. Let's pull you out of there, and let's put you back over here in the roosts area. All the rest of these chests are empty. Oh, nope, this is just random machines and stuff. Just to save space in there. All right, I think I've waffled on enough on this. So with the mob farm, the main thing you want to watch out for is always have a way to turn it off, kill the mobs super quick, handle the drops super quick, and then careful for overflow and handle it in every instance. You'll have a very happy server because you're not contributing a huge amount of tick on the server. And that's always good. And we appreciate that. Anyway, this has been Grok the DuckFarmer here, playing on the FTOG server, Feed the Beast Stoneblock 3. And it's been lots of fun. And thanks for watching. Bye.